and trying to figure something out. I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Have you ever noticed how some people seem to be putting the bare minimum effort into their dating life and into their relationships, and yet still seem to get exactly what they want? Well, you may actually be dealing with something known as the lowest effort relationship theory. And I think many people have been there. You know, feeling like you're the only one really putting that effort into your relationship or dating experience, while the other person just seems to be coasting along. And it can feel really frustrating if you're in that position. Now, you may think that the lowest effort relationship theory is pretty self-explanatory, and that obviously whoever puts in the lowest effort cares the least and thus holds all of the power. But this theory is actually much different than that. And I'm going to tell you how this theory, in some ways, may even be the exact opposite of what you actually think. And most importantly, you're going to learn how this theory applies to you, because it literally applies to everyone. And then we're going to talk about 3 things that you can take away from this information to make sure that you are the one getting chased in a relationship, but for healthy reasons and in healthy forms. So here's what the lowest effort relationship theory actually means. It means that the people who put the least amount of effort into a dating or relationship situation hold the power for a certain period of time, until they actually proceed to sabotage the relationship itself. Now, why is this? Well, there are 3 hard truths that I'm hoping will change the way you look at relationships. And then we're going to get into the things that actually will have people chasing you for healthy reasons. Truth number 1 is that relationships require nurturing and effort. if we are not actually nurturing a relationship by being attentive to it, by knowing our partner's needs, by being present with people, and also by requesting those things in reciprocity as well, then relationships are going to fail. I want you to imagine, for example, that you decide you're going to dedicate the next 30 or 40 years of your life to a specific career. Well, if you don't show up and do the work every day, you're not going to keep your job. The same principle applies to every aspect of our lives. You can look at your physical health. If you are not actually looking out for how you're sleeping, how you're eating, if you're moving your body, I mean, you're going to see that your physical health will suffer over time and fall apart, just like a relationship would too. So, hard truth number one is that relationships actually require nurturing and effort, just like anything else. And those relationships that are worth staying in are also going to be because you put that nurturing and effort in. It's going to be because you've actually built something that you feel excited about because you put that work in and you're proud of that connection that you fostered. Hard truth number two about this is that relationships are not a power struggle. If you find yourself constantly warring for power in a relationship, chances are you're still operating by this old, outdated mindset that for me to feel heard and seen and valued in a relationship or to avoid abandonment, I have to have the upper hand. Healthy, secure, lasting relationships are not about one person having the upper hand. It's about both people.
Now, y'all know I love Thais Gibson. I do. I love her work. Her work on attachment theory is really, really good. Okay? So do not take offense, but I don't believe anything that she just said. And I'm just going to tell you why. I believe that the majority of people that are born with insecure attachment styles. Right? I don't believe that it's 50-50. I don't believe that, it's 50% securely attached and 50% insecurely attached. I don't believe that. I believe most people are works in progress. And if you're a work in progress, you're going to miss an opportunity, if you're a parent, to be fully attentive to all your kids' needs, right? And if you're not attentive, self-attentive, some psychologists even suggest that maladaptive or insecure attachment styles happen in vitro, in the womb. So that's telling me a lot of people are born with insecure attachment styles. A lot of people cultivate insecure attachment styles. With that being said, could we have it all wrong in the way that we perceive needs, right? The need is born with the first person to drop the ball, the primary caregiver. That was the first person to miss a moment of emotional attunement. And as I stated in a show last week, we take that and create relationship expectations. You hear people say, show me, prove. Behavior speaks louder than words. These are broken, hurt people. Oh, I know you didn't think I was going to take it there, but I am. Yes, this is why relationships are theater. Theater for the preferred performance that I extrapolated from the conversation with you. Oh, you like this? Oh, you like that? You're interested in this? You're interested in that? It is a performance. See, relationships are about transaction. It's about doing. What are we doing? Where are we going? What's happening? Do you see? Do you see? And I hear what she said. You know, we are wired for connection. And I believe, yes, we have been conditioned for external connection, external validation, external approval, external acknowledgement, external esteem. This is the neighborhood I live in. This is the type of car I drive. This is the type of industry I work in. We're extrapolating esteem from the things that we accumulate, even people. Right? This is why people say you have to show improve. What's more powerful? Doing or being? Now, for hurt people, they're going to say, show up, showing up. You got to show up. She used the example of work, right? Yo, if you're going to, go to a certain job, you have to show up and put in the effort and this, that, and the third. Yeah. That's a job. That's a thing to be done. That is an activity. Intimate relationships are much different. They're much, much different. Why? Yes, because the relationship is reflecting stuff back to you that is in you. Right? Minimum effort. Now, that's a terrible thing to do. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a terrible thing. Right? Somebody that's just not trying, somebody that doesn't care, somebody that is unresponsive. I get it. But ask yourself the opposite question. Why do you want them to show up? And even more importantly, why do you try to get them to show up? To me, that's reflecting back to your own, right, insecure attachment styles. Tonight's topic is going to be deep. A striver's requiem. Does unconditional love require effort in order for it to be real? A deeper look at the false correlation between effort and good relationships. Because remember, effort is doing. Have you ever connected and fell in love with a person's being? Have you connected and fell in love with your own being? Very few of us realize that the self-centered activity of effort cannot clear up any of our problems. That's J. Krishnamurti. Let me say it again. Krishnamurti got a quote for every situation. He has a concept for every situation. Listen to this. Very few of us realize that the self-centered activity of effort does not clear up any of our problems. And he's talking psychological, right? Psychologically, like a person can do everything you need them to do. A person can show up and perform and give you everything you needed. And have you ever been with somebody that did all of that and you still felt the disconnect? You still felt something was off, something was missing. So it doesn't matter what they do, even though that's what we say. We say actions speak louder than words. You got to show up. Sometimes the people show up the right way and it's still not the right one. They did everything right. For the people out there that did everything right and it still didn't work out, please call in 1-800-920-15. Do you understand what I'm saying? We put so much emphasis on what you can do for me, we miss who they are. How many times you got with somebody that did everything right and they turned out to be horrible? Because doing something is an activity, something that can be practiced, something that can be prepared. Do you understand? Lord forbid they put a little thought into their doing. Would that not be manipulation? Oh yeah, performative relationships. Let me read that quote from Krishnamurti again. It's so powerful. Very few of us realize that the self-centered activity of effort does not clear up any of our problems. Someone with anxious, preoccupied attachment style, they're going to lean in and do everything they need to do. It's performative niceness, performative courteousness, but at the end of the day, they're doing it for something. They need the payoff. You see? The myth of effort is love, unconditional love, intrinsically effortless. Effort versus authenticity. Cultural narratives of love, the role of vulnerability. society glorifies effort in relationships. But what if true love flourishes in effortless authenticity? You being you. Most of us are so damn uncomfortable with being ourselves, even when we're alone. We don't like being ourselves. That's why we have distractions called the reefer, or the nightclub, or the video game, or whatever. Doing things. I got to keep doing, because the moment I sit still, the real me shows up. Have you noticed people who are not really locked into who they really are want somebody else to be locked into them? You not even with you. Effort can often mask deeper issues and inhibit genuine connection. Love is not about what you do. It's about who you are. That's from Unknown, right? The quote is Unknown. Questions. Can we learn to love without the burden of effort? What does effortless love look like in practice? Performative love. Are we acting out our relationships? The theater of romance. Social media's impact. Authentic versus performative connections. In the age of social media, are we invested in the performance of love rather than its reality? What you gonna do for me, Shaka Khan said. What you gonna do for me? What you doing? Right? When we come forward, the voice of reason has questions. And I know there's some people out there that gave low effort, and they probably feel like, yeah, that's why I gave low. No, you gave low effort because you're scared of vulnerability. We know that. You didn't want to do too much, because if you do too much, you might be responsible for what you've done. Yeah, I see you too. When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep this fire lit. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
We gon' be alright.
KBLA Talk 1580 is amplifying Black voices and spotlighting our untold stories. I'm Dominique DePrima. Join me Thursday from 6 to 9 a.m. as we broadcast live from the Altadena, Pasadena area. Due to the National Guard closing down this section, we will not be at Perry's Joint. Our new location is the Pasadena Church East Campus at 425 Sierra Madre Villa. We'll be covering the individuals and families impacted by the Altadena Eaton fire. Hear from community leaders and those who have suffered losses that must not be forgotten. So join us Thursday at the Pasadena Church East Campus at 425 Sierra Madre Villa. Together we can help them rebuild and recover. Together we are LA Strong, LA United. With your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
America's most wanted. Don't try to apprehend it. America's most wanted. Ice Cube's back on the set. Don't try to apprehend it.
Ice Cube with the lynch mob. I got it going on. A brother that's living in the city of the criminal zone. One time can't keep the law in order, cause everybody's going crazy for a quarter. You tuned in to the #1 crew in the area. The way I'm talking, I'm scaring you, I'm daring you. The raise hell and bail and brag and sag, but be down for your flag. Cause if you win, so you ain't a gang banger, keep one in the chamber, cause you'll get them things put on your son. Ice Cube has got the 411. All the old school house fellas on crooks. So I get jealous looks.
I see what you're saying. We're struggling against it, trying to get the other side.
Other side.
Right. So that's what is needed before one can reach the threshold of making that other step.
No, there is no other step.
Oh.
Are you? So, I have made effort. My mind has made effort to get rid of this block, which is fear. And it has struggled, it has analyzed, and been to a psychotherapist, and so on, so on, so on. It has made tremendous effort. Now somebody comes along, you come along and say, don't do that. Just watch it. Right? And you're watching it. So there is a vast difference between the mind that made an effort and the mind is not making an effort. Right? Before you were seeking a result, here you're not seeking a result. I wonder, right?
Man, listen, pause that for us. There's a vast difference between the mind that is making an effort and the mind that is not making an effort. And if we're paying attention to psychology as it's progressing forward, psychology is embracing Eastern thought, especially when we start talking about mindfulness. And what is meditation? It's being able to not fight the incessant stream of consciousness, the thoughts that are constantly coming. Being able to not fight it and allow it to subside on its own. That's mindfulness, right? And it's a difficult practice, but you have to learn how to do it, right? So we're talking about mindfulness in relationships, right? But go back to the mind that is putting in the effort for a result. Is that not everybody in intimate relationships? When you say, I didn't sign up for this, that means whatever effort is really just an investment. You're a relationship broker, right? Love coin. That's what this is. Do you see? And this is why we live in a society that doesn't believe in this rarefied level of consciousness that the mystics called unconditional love, if you read the works of Rumi or Khalil Gibran, or you read the ancient Sufis writing on love, man, such a high level of consciousness. But you live in a conditioned life, which started with your primary caregiver and whatever insecure attachment style you may or may not have, formed. So relationships become this theater where we begin to act out what we think the person wants. Now, you heard what he said, right? There's a difference between the mind that is not using effort and the one that is. The one that is using effort is trying to get something. And sure, you can apply that to technical stuff, right? Right? Oh, yeah, I want to build a house. Good. When we're talking about technical knowledge, that's where it applies. When you're talking about psychological knowledge, you may run the risk of suffering from rumination on what happened in the past. It's good to remember technical knowledge. We need to know how to build a computer, a cell phone, a radio station, and we have to improve upon it. Technical knowledge, great. Psychological knowledge, i.e. memory, not so great. Babette Rothschild, the body remembers. Trauma, it's a psychosomatic connection. Trauma bonding, it's psychosomatic. It keeps you an inner child, irrespective of your chronological age. Please let the great Krishnamurti finish that piece.
Right? Yeah. There is a total change has taken place. So if a block recurs, you want to find out why. Either you're so eager to reach the other end, right? Can we proceed?
Yes.
So, we're asking each other, what is the quality of a mind that is no longer separative, that has understood the whole nature of individuality, right? The root of it, the separateness of it, the conflict involved wherever there is separation, two nations, two people, two ideas, two opinions. You follow? It's wherever there is separation, there must be the expression of individuality. The individuality as the collective, as the nation, as the cattle. You follow? It's all the same, in the same direction. I don't feel, right? Now, if the individuality has gone, that is separative effort, then I am the world and the world is me, essentially. I may be a little more greedy than the other fellow, but he will be little less jealous than me. But jealousy is the same, greed is. We're not talking about relative greed, but greed, right?
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The investigation into a black driver, Ronald Green's 2019 death in Louisiana, is over with no officers facing prison. Former Deputy Chris Harper pled guilty to battery and received probation. D.C. leaders are citing rising construction costs for the $1.5 million price tag of the Inauguration Day viewing stand at the Wilson Building, triple the 2017 cost. While some council members will not attend, Black Mayor Muriel Bowser and Ward 2's Brooke Pinto will use the stand. The first elected Chicago School Board was sworn in today with 10 elected members and 11 appointed by Black Mayor Brandon Johnson. Their task includes selecting a vice president and negotiating a new Chicago Teachers Union contract. And Chanel Booker is making history as Middle Georgia's first Black U.S. attorney after being named acting U.S. attorney last week. She previously served as first assistant since 2022. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Every business faces challenges, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey!
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer.
Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Who got it, man? We on the radio, dude? Oh, all right. Let's peek this here. At night I can't sleep. I toss and turn. Candlesticks in the dark. Visions of bodies being burned. Four walls closing in, getting bigger. I'm paranoid, sleeping with my finger on the trigger. My mother's always stressing I ain't living right, but I ain't going out without a fight. See, every time my eyes close, I start sweating and blood starts coming out my nose. It's somebody watching the act, but I don't know who it is, so I'm watching my back. I can see them when I'm deep in the covers. When I awake, I hear a car burning rubber. He owns a black hat like I own, a black suit and a cane like my own. Some might say take a chill beat, but I can't, G, cause there's somebody trying to kill me. I'm popping in the grip when the wind blows. Every 20 seconds got me peeping out my window, investigating the joint for traps.
All right, let's make relationships a little bit more simple. If you or your partner, intentionally or unintentionally, has no desire to build trust or intimacy or emotional safety or healthy communication, that relationship will not work, right? I mean, you can stay together, but the partnership dies because it has no foundation of actual love. Those aren't optional. They're not just words. They're how love is demonstrated. Every failing relationship has something in common, a lack of at least one of them. Anyone can claim that they love someone else, but for me, love equals mutual sacrifice and service and selflessness, right? The problem with those things is they're subjective. But the moment one person doesn't care about whether the other person is experiencing them in the relationship, you can say whatever words you want, but the truth is you don't love them more than you love your ego, pride, or discomfort. You don't love them enough to actually...
And it's all good advice. It is. It's good advice. I just don't happen to fully agree with it. Whenever I see a unidirectional statement, I know I'm dealing with a spiritual child. Yes, we're supposed to do things for our partner. Yes. But it means it means nothing if you haven't done it for yourself. It means absolutely nothing if you haven't done it for yourself. If you don't do it for yourself and you're doing it for your partner, you're doing it for a purpose, for an agenda. So that makes it performative. We have to change how we frame these discussions. Because that guy's a pretty smart guy. I like his content. But if you're really listening to what he's saying we both have to give in order for the relationship to work. However, if you're dealing with two broken people, which is probably the case, giving to the relationship won't heal the two people that's constantly giving and putting in effort. Why? What's going to happen? The question of capacity. I'm burnt out. The question of comparison. You know, I really gave my all this time and you didn't respond the way I thought. Because you're not healed. And what you're giving to your partner is really something you ain't got to give because you haven't given it to yourself first. Does it make sense? What are some key differences between effortless love and inner healing, which requires immense effort? And why do we conflate striving with love? Do you see? Go back to the Krishnamurti quote at the very beginning. Very few of us realize that the self-centered activity of effort does not clear up any of our internal problems. Oh, I'm going to do this, and she's going to love it. I'm going to get her this, and she's going to think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. And then you don't get the response you're looking for. Do you see? Do you see the problem? And these are very intelligent people. I'm telling you, in the next 10, 20 years, psychology is going to continue to evolve, and you're going to see these are not bi-directional statements. When you say, oh, yeah, we both have to give. Right? Do you see? We have to give in order to, we have to both put in effort. But it's wasted effort, right? If the effort that you're putting into the relationship hasn't been put into the self. This is about to be very interesting tonight. Does unconditional love require effort to be real? This question invites a profound exploration of the pervasive belief that effort is a necessary hallmark of successful relationships, grounded in the insights of thinkers like Krishnamurti, who asserted that very few of us realize that the self-centered activity of effort does not clear up any of our problems. We can begin to unravel the complex interplay between self-healing, relational dynamics, and the illusion of effort as a measure of love and connection. Now, on a superficial level, you show up for me, you do for me, yes. But that becomes a coping mechanism too, a crutch that I begin to lean on, a measure that I begin to grade you on and evaluate you and others. I remember I had a man once that would show up and do everything I needed. Oh, I messed it up with him. I wish I would have kept him. Do you see? Wow, this is heavy stuff. We got callers on the line. I want to get them in here. Ronan! Indianapolis is, oh, Lord, here we go. We're going to start off early. Let's go. Ronan from Naptown. Let's get it. What are your thoughts?
Shabalama-ding-dong.
Yeah, man. Profanity, you know? Here we go.
I question the whole thing about unconditional because, like, that means you don't have any boundaries. You don't have any standards for yourself. And if you're talking about love, how can you express it to somebody else when it's foreign to you?
Come on.
So that's why I said last time, like some people being performative prostitutes. Yeah. They'll do what they're supposed to do. They'll make their utility a platform to hide from themselves, their true selves. So you got people that they're saying like, well, this person did this, that, and for me, and all these mundane tasks, but did they ever put a safety on their own triggers?
Come on. I hear you.
Did they ever, take that time to seek help to hurt those generational traumas, probably from parents or siblings or whatnot? Because most times people will hide themselves in a relationship. Like I've always learned, you could be naked with someone in bed, but still fully clothed in your lives.
Stay with me, Ronan. Listen, don't go nowhere. When we come forward, you already know the witty wizard straight out of Winterfeld, a.k.a. Indianapolis. He'll be back with more heat, man. When we come forward, you know Ronan is going to cut all the way up.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha, Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd. No barking from the dog, no small. And mama cooked the breakfast with no hog. I got my grub on, but didn't pig out. Finally got a call from a girl I wanna dig out. Hooked it up for later as I hit the dough. Thinking, will I live another 24? I gotta go, cause I got me a drop top. And if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop. To stop at a red light, looking in my mirror, not a jacker in sight.
Let's talk about some resistant things and smooth them out. What do you think about that? You interested in that? Taking something where you've got a little resistance and following the path? You ready for that? Yeah?
Hi. So, I think I have a kind of body work that I do that I'm really good at, and it's very law of attraction-esque, and I've enjoyed it for years. And I feel like I want to do something else. And I feel like I get kind of caught up in, well, I'm good at what I do, and it's been the path of least resistance for a really long time.
Or is it?
Well, I know. Anymore, I don't think it is, but it's like it's what I do.
But that's why we're asking the question. In other words, if what I do and the fact that I'm good at it But how do you, and so maybe a lot of other people are telling you you're good at it too. And maybe a lot of, and so there can be a lot of confusion. But if you're just sorting it out for yourself, how do you know if you're on your path of least resistance?
Thank you. I mean, when you were talking all this morning, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is my thing is how do you know when you're on your own path of least resistance?
Sometimes you place it in juxtaposition with other things. In other words, you compare it to other things. But the thing that we really want to help you feel in a really clear way, and you're a perfect person to feel it because you are sensitive to energy, is, of course, let's say a really obvious path of least resistance. There's a lot of traffic. It's the freeway, and you want to get to the other side. Is bolting into traffic the path of least resistance? Well, that's really ridiculous, isn't it? Because of course it isn't. And yet sometimes we want it not to need to be so obvious, because of course it's a path of least resistance in the fact that it satisfies this and this and this. But if you are an expanding being, and if you like new and change, then is something that you've been doing for a long time and doing it exactly the same way going to always be, or even for a relatively short period of time, going to be your path of least resistance? If you are an expanding being and you're doing a lot of the same things, then maybe there's some resistance because the expanding part of you isn't being satisfied.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you need to run into traffic?
No.
Does that mean that you need to stop everything that you're doing? No. But it does mean there is something fresh, even within what you are doing, that could be more satisfying than what you have been doing.
Yeah.
It could be the way you're looking at it. It could be how much of it you're doing.
That's Abraham Hicks, Esther. And she's talking about how this hamster wheel of doing equals results. But love is about unconditionality, the real thing. The real thing is unconditional. And a lot of people don't agree with that. And I'm going to say this. I'll posit this. Everybody is born with some type of attachment style. That attachment style is created by a primary caregiver. The primary caregiver conditions the child, right, with emotional attunement or the lack thereof. Either way, the child is being conditioned. So it makes perfect sense that conditioned beings don't understand the unconditional nature of love. They understand love as what they've received as opposed to what they emanate. Okay. All right. Let's get Ronan back in here. Ronan!
Yes, sir.
Finish your thought, my friend.
Okay, so my thing is, like, if you say that you love yourself or love the person you're with, that requires you to be willing to work. And you have to be uncomfortable with treating that person or yourself as a human unemployment voucher. Because there's too many people out there looking for unearned benefits. They get complacent. You know, they figure this person's with me. But the thing is, when you sit there and put yourself in that position, that's a contract to remain poor and broken.
An unemployment,
a human unemployment voucher.
Wow. What is that? Just give me that analogy.
The thing is, like, okay, so most times when you stick to welfare or unemployment, it's supposed to help, but most people abuse it. Mm-hmm. So in most cases, you take on that contract to remain poor. Mm-hmm. You're only supposed to be limited with the income you work with. So in the context of love, you give the bare minimum. Like, you show up, but that's no different than relationship time card fraud. You clock in, but you're taking 2-hour restroom breaks. You run around here not doing your job. And basically, people are watching you, and you wonder why you get terminated and have the nerve to complain.
Relationship time card fraud. Breadcrumbing and just giving the bare minimum. Boy, you crazy. But he's making sense. This is why I love when he calls in, because he understands the concepts. We are so focused on what people do for us that we miss who they are, because we've missed who we are for so many years. So it now just boils down to, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you see?
And I wanted to say, like, one last thing. It's like, if, like I said, like, if love is about labor, do I trust you with the workload of me evolving and vice versa?
Nah, you see, you on to something right now. Let's go. Hold on.
Yeah.
Love for another, right? It's not about labor. Love for self is about labor.
Yeah.
When you don't put in the love labor to love yourself, in other words, to embrace, to individuate, right? To merge your shadow with your mask. If you don't put in that work, then love for another becomes labor.
Yes.
This is when people start saying, I don't have the capacity. I'm burnt out. Oh, Lord, I got empathy fatigue. That's because you've never tapped into the source of God in yourself. You still think you're the little hurt person that was traumatized in childhood. It's irrespective of chronological age. Does that make sense? Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, it makes perfect sense. No, you're right. Because the thing is, like, if I love you like the way I say I do, I know you go through things, and I can feel the weight you have on yourself, and you should feel that same way too. So your effort should be helping that person to become a better mule, not your mule.
The effort has to be internal, though. It's never external effort. If you find yourself saying, hey, did you like the gift I gave you? If you find yourself saying, do you understand what? Hey, were you ever going to return my text? Do you see what I'm saying? It's not about, see, and then the person that is concerned with,
right?
Did you return my, why didn't you return my text? Why, how come you're not giving what I'm giving? That person is broken too, because internally, once it doesn't come back organically, that person should fall out of their life like a dead leaf off of a tree in the fall.
True.
Organically, without force.
Yeah, I mean, it should be relationship commerce, not, cannibalism.
Man, stay with me, brother. Don't go nowhere. You stay right there. We got Ronan from Naptown, and he done woke up the dragon. Let's get it.
The homies, and I'm asking y'all, which part are y'all playing basketball? Get me on the court and I'm troubled. Last week messed around and got a triple-double. Freaking brothers every way like MJ. I can't believe today was a good day.